Hello friends, welcome to my channel Being Chemistrian. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. So let's start. So today we will discuss about the resolution in 1H NMR spectra. So if you see, this is the spectra when delta nu is 5 Hz. The difference in chemical shift value in Hertz, when that is 5 Hz and divide by J, that is the coupling constant, we will get 1. So we cannot see a triplet and quadruplet for this molecule. HA and HB are the protons, two different protons. We will get for this a quadruplet, and for this A we will get a triplet. Now if you calculate that in this, we will get a triplet and a quadruplet here also, but that is merging in one signal. We cannot see a resolution here because the delta nu is very small. Now if you increase the magnetic field strength, that is if you record NMR spectra in 60 MHz NMR instrument, if you keep on increasing, that is if you go to 100 MHz, you will get a better resolution than 60 MHz. The delta nu will be now increased somewhat. So now you can see some kind of resolution are happening. Now if you increase again 100 to 150 like that, you will get some triplet and quadruplet kind of spectra. But this is not also that much resolution. Now if you increase 200 and 300 like that, if you get a 300 MHz instrument, that will get a better resolution than a 200 or 150 megahertz instrument. Now if you see this two signal which are recorded in 300 megahertz, this is get a better resolution than any of this spectra. So from this we can know that by increasing the instrument's magnetic field strength, that is if we take 60 megahertz, we will get a poor resolution. Then when you increase the magnetic field strength, NMR instrument magnetic field strength, you will get a better resolution. You can see distinct quadruplet and triplet, there will be no overlap these two peaks. We will get a distinct quadruplet also and distinct triplet also. So now we will discuss about depth 13C NMR spectra. That is stands for distortionless enhancement polarization transfer technique. So in depth 13C NMR, we will know information about how many type of protons are there, CH3 type, CH2 type, CH type, and if you record the NMR spectra all type, we will get how many type of carbon atoms are in my compound. So I have given here an example of citronenal. So this compound has three type of CH3, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 CH3 group in this compound. So if you allow the instrument to record only CH3, it will see only 3 peaks. That means we have 3 CH3 carbons in my compound. Now if you allow that instrument to record only CH2, you have 1, 2, 3. So we will have 3 peaks in that spectra. Now if you allow the instrument to record only CH type of carbons, that will see 1, 2 and 3. So we have 3 type of peaks. And if you allow the instrument for all carbons, you will get the all carbon peaks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 type of carbon in my compound. So depending upon the CH3 type, CH2 type and CH type carbons, we have different type of depth, that is depth 45, depth 90, depth 135. We can change the instrument settings. We can change, like if you want to take only CH3 type and CH type and not CH2 type, we can change the setting. If you want a inverted peak, like if you want a CH2 inverted, you can change whatever you want to do. You can change the setting and take a NMR spectra according to your want. So in general, in depth 45, we record CH, CH2 and CH3 which give all positive signal. That means they are above this axis. Now if you record the spectra in depth 90, only CH give positive signal. That means we are getting only CH carbons, not CH2 and not CH3. Now if you record in depth 135, the CH3 and CH give positive signal. CH3 and CH both will give positive signal, and CH2 will be inverted, that will give a negative signal. So this type of spectrum we will get in depth 13C NMR spectra. Now we will study about two-dimensional NMR spectroscopy. So for the complex molecules such as proteins, nucleic acids are difficult to analyze by NMR because the signal in their spectra overlap. Such compound can be analyzed by two-dimensional NMR spectroscopy, that is 2D NMR, a technique that determines the structure of complex molecule in solution. This is a particular important technique for studying biological molecule whose properties depend on how they fold in water. More recently, 3D, 4D NMR also has been developed, and they can use to determine the structure of highly complex molecules. A thorough discussion in 2D NMR is not possible in this video, so I will give some basic knowledge about how to analyze a 2D NMR like COSY, a technique which determines a 2D NMR. That means which protons are coupling with which protons. We will get a COSY spectra, a 2D spectra like this, and we will know the information about which protons are coupled with which proton. So how is it that possible that this COSY spectra determines the coupling, which proton coupling to which proton? We will see the COSY spectra. You can see the 2D spectra. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So if you see the dots, you can see there are several dots, and in these dots are in one diagonal. I have written a diagonal here, and these are known as the cross peaks. That means x, y, z are cross peaks. These are also cross peaks. The cross peaks tell about which protons are coupled with which proton. If you take this x, you can see clearly I have drawn parallel to y-axis a line, and parallel to x-axis also a line which intersect with this diagonal. Now this line correspond to a proton. So we have CH3, and this correspond to my B protons. So they are coupling. That's why we are getting a cross peak here. Now whichever cross peak here mentioned, that means they are coupling with those protons. Now if you see this cross peak, this correspond to B and this correspond to A. So B, A are coupling with each other. Now we are also getting here and here. Why like that? Now if you see, this is for CH2. This cross peak is for CH2. This is more de-shielded, and this is for this cross peak X is for CH3. This is more shielded because this is CH3 and this is attached to a heteroatom. That's why that is more de-shielded. So similarly, you can see this cross peak Y. If you draw a parallel line with a y-axis, you can see this is correspond to, I think this is for C, and this is for, if you draw a parallel with X, you will get E. So C and E are also, C and E are coupled. This is called vicinal coupling, sp2 hybridized vicinal coupling. So these two are also coupled, so we are getting a cross peak. So whenever there is a coupling, we will get cross peak in this COSY spectra. COSY spectra is nothing but correlation spectra. Which protons, 1h protons are coupling with each other, we will get a cross peak, and based on if you draw a line parallel to X and Y, you will know which proton are coupling with each other. So this much information for Cauchy spectra. So now we will discuss about head-core spectra, that is heteronuclear correlation. This is also a 2D NMR spectra, and that show the coupling between 13C, that is 13C nuclei and proton nuclei, 13C and 1H. So this correlation you can see, we have taken the 13C NMR values in x-axis and the proton NMR chemical shift values in y-axis. So the cross peak correspond to which carbon are coupling with which proton. Now if you see this cross peak W, you can clearly see that I have drawn a line parallel to y-axis and parallel to x-axis. So this correspond to a proton W. A protons are coupling with this carbon, which is 13C carbon, that correspond to this carbon. So this is around 8 ppm, and this carbon is coupling with this CS3. So that's why we are getting this cross peak. And now if you see this X correspond to B, that means these two CS3. We have two carbons and they are coupling with each other, this 13C and 1H, they are coupling with each other. That's why we are getting cross peak here. Similarly for C and D, you can see we are getting cross peak because C have CH2, 2 protons, they are coupling, and for D we have 1 proton that will couple with each other. And if you see the chemical shift value also, this is attached to a carbonyl group, that's why more D shielded, and these are sp3 hybridized carbon and are far from the carbonyl group, that's why less D shielded, that is more shielded. That's why we are getting at 8, this is around 19, this is around 34, and this is around 41. So to analyze the coupling between the 13C and 1H in a two-dimensional spectra is nothing but the head-core spectra.